All right. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy. And this whole live thing, we're trying it again. So, didn't exactly have quite the best experience the first time around. It was really more how I felt deep down rather than other things. Because, I mean, yeah, it kept buffering because that was also the same night that the lightning struck nearby. We lost internet, and then my landlord's boyfriend, he gave us a hotspot that he uses, and that was helping kind of, but it's like putting a band-aid on an open, like a fatal wound. You know what I mean? But I digress, because that's neither here nor there. Internet's back on, better than ever, because we also switched providers not that long ago. We used to do Spectrum, and Spectrum claimed to have like 500 megabits per second. Was it actually that? No. But AT&T, they offered us double, same price, and none of that mumbo jumbo contract stuff. So it's all good, and hopefully this runs pretty smoothly. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, how's everybody doing tonight? How you guys doing? Just let me know in the comment section down below. All right, Mary says, well, first of all, what's going on, Mary? Glad to have you. And Mary says, I have to run into restaurant, pick up order in 2 minutes. That's fine. I mean, if you can be here, that's cool. If not, it's okay. I understand. I mean, luckily, there's millions upon millions of people on YouTube, so somebody's going to pop in, right? Look at the camera. Yeah, I know. That wasn't always my best habit, even the previous 40 live streams I did on my main channel. I just got to remember that too. It's all good. And Indie Gig Life is here. What's going on, Indie Gig Life? Good to see you. Spectrum sucks. Yes, Spectrum definitely sucks. And trust me, we've had Spectrum, well, my family and I, we've had Spectrum since 2004. And oh man, that always came with a boatload of problems. And they would always find reasons to hike our premium. They would just make it more expensive arbitrarily. And then they'd come up with some bullshit excuses and fees. And it's like, what the hell is all this? You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. So, screw that. You know what I mean? Yes, corn. I was going to put on my corn hat. Yeah, you can see the problem with that, though. If I have my green screen on in the background, that's how you can see everything, because I got a green screen. You'd be able to see the corn hat, but we'll see about that one. Because I also like the green screen. It adds a nice little element to my live streams. Plus, I mean, it's my brand, That's me. That's totally me with the gigantic arms and all the British short hair cats in the background. That is definitely me. Okay, you're live. We'll be on. Just have to pick up a pizza, deliver it up to 100 today. Hey, way to go, Mary. Congratulations. $100. It's good stuff. I didn't get to do quite as well today myself, though. As you know, or for anyone that may or may not know by now, my e-bike motor gave out yesterday, New Year's Day too. Go figure, right? Perfect way to start off the new year. A busted up motor. So the whole e-bike thing that this channel's becoming known for, it's going to have to wait a couple weeks most likely. So as a plan C, I did buy a mountain bike from Walmart yesterday. I picked out a really nice one. It's Dyna, I forgot the name of the brand itself. I just know that it's called Gauntlet, which is a badass name for a bicycle, in my opinion. It's got a nice sporty looking frame. It's red. That's my mom's favorite color, by the way. Hey, Mom, if you're watching. That's her favorite color. 24-inch wheels. It rides pretty good. It's comfortable. It's got full suspension on it. From my experience today, though, I had my first shift with that bike today. Oh boy, I am getting humbled big time, let me tell you, because for anyone else who's new here too, I got in an accident a couple of weeks ago. I injured my leg, I injured my knee, so I had to heal from that. Thankfully, it was nothing too serious. I was able to heal up very quickly. Like my right knee was able to heal up after like less than a week. And my left leg has come a very long way too. It still aches and pains a little bit, but it's okay. It's getting there. It's gotten strong enough to where I can actually ride a mountain bike again. The problem is that with me doing gig work on my mountain bike as of right now, I can only go like an average 9-10 miles an hour, and my legs just start tiring out because I lost a lot of strength, and I wasn't keeping up with my endurance as much. I couldn't help it, like when you injure both your legs, it's like, yeah, you can only do so much, right? Plus, I haven't been super consistent during the holidays with fitness and everything like that. So I'm definitely experiencing some humbling right now. Just whipping up a slice of that apple flavored humble pie right now. But I'm still going out there, I'm still grinding as much as I can anyway. I know my legs are going to be hella sore when I wake up tomorrow, but we're still going to keep working anyway, because as we know, resistance training, right, that adding that resistance to the muscles, to your body, the body will respond. It breaks down, repairs itself, hence rest, right? Rest time, when the muscles are repairing themselves. That's when the body's recovering. Give myself that adequate time, and I'll get back into it, at least on a somewhat similar level as I was when I was in high school and college. Because high school and college, I used to religiously ride my mountain bikes all the time. I had some cool ones too. I had a Huffy. It was like a red, it was black, it was yellow. It looked hella dope. It was really nice. I used to ride that thing religiously. And this was like well before I even knew e-bikes were a thing. I never even thought of the idea that a bicycle can have a battery, electric components, and a motor, right? We're talking high school, college. It's over a decade ago now, man. I'm getting old. But it's okay. We're definitely getting there. And it's going to take a couple weeks before I get my e-bikes back on the road. But it's all good. We'll make do with what we got. Plus, I do have some other things going on behind the scenes too to help me with that. So I did recently open myself to doing bicycle repairs for people that need repairs. Like if you need to change a tire, if you need to convert a chain, bike tune-ups, that's all stuff I know how to do, right? And there's tons of bikes in Titusville. There's lots and lots of bikes in Titusville. So I can definitely see myself getting lined up with some people. So we'll see what happens with that. Plus, you got branded surveys, and I can still get on my bike and ride around and take roadies or anything like that. So roadie came in clutch today, man. I got 4 of them. I missed out on 2, so it could have been 6. But oh well, you win some, you lose some, right? But I digress, as I always say. And what do we got? Big 3 dashing. Hi, Mike. I appreciate your gift to Mary's membership. No problem. Mary's cool, man. She's really sweet. She's very supportive. What goes around comes around. Am I right? And oh yeah, Sonny's here. What's going on, Sonny? Cornsicles. Hope you like that nickname, Sonny. Good to see you. I know you're out doing some Spark orders or something like that right now, which actually, that reminds me. My mom is saying some flattering things. Try to make me feel a little better about myself. Cute. I appreciate it, Mom. Okay, there's Sonny. All right. I know Sonny needs the subscribers. She needs the public watch hours, so we're playing our live stream right now. Actually, while I'm at it, I don't have a Nightbot set up for this channel, but I can still put links to people in the chat. Let me see. Okay, not that. It'll load. Speaking of which, how's the connection? Okay, it looks like we're good. Cool. Nice. Or should I say, nice. All right, let's see. Help Sonny get to 500 subs. Okay, there we go. So One thing I do like about StreamYard is I can display singular comments, so that's pretty dope. And yeah, I just put that in the comment section. For anybody that's not subscribed to Sunny Cornsicles, well, her actual YouTube channel is Chronicles, but I like to call it Cornsicles because, you know, corn, that's kind of a big thing with my brand. Not just this channel, other channels I have too. But once again, I digress. Anyway, go check out Sunny. She's live pretty much all the time. So she's also very sweet. She's very supportive too. Yes, she only needs 32. That's all you got to do, right? 32 people. Head over to Sunny, send her some corn cobs, and, you know, subscribe to the channel. Ring that taco bell like I tell you guys to. Ring that taco bell so you get notified. Click the video. I'm not old. Thank you, Mary. I am not old. I'm telling myself that too, you know? I'm only 30, right? It's not that I'm already 30. I'm only 30. Mindset's everything. Trust me, I tell myself that every single day. Not even just about my age, but all kinds of other complicated issues. Because lots of things going on up there. It's like a big plate of spaghetti, but you put like 20, 30 different types of sauces in it. You know what I mean? Didn't get any roadies today, but you did good. Notes. But we think you're cute and we adore you. Thanks, Mary. I appreciate that. Make sure you guys stay hydrated too. You find yourself being fatigued, you got a headache, probably just thirsty. I have like at least 4 of these things a day, sometimes more. I probably had to do more today because with a mountain bike compared to an e-bike, you actually have to pedal and use your body to exert yourself to move. I almost forgot what that was like. Because it's been a couple of years since the last time I used a mountain bike. The last one I had, it was like a dark blue one, and it had like a black pattern to it as well. It was pretty nice. I sold it to my buddy though, because, you know, he needed a bike as well, and I gave him a pretty good deal for it. But how things have come full circle, am I right? And full circle is in circular motion, like bicycle wheels. But always got to throw a pun in there. Am I right? 30s are going to be a lot of fun. I sure hope so. I sure hope so. But, you know, as I'm getting older, or should I say the opposite of getting younger, slight caveat there, I guess, I'm finding it easier to deal with, I guess, the big challenges in life and try not to sweat the little things as much. Because, I mean, I guess one way to look at it as your time is limited and you start valuing your time more as you're getting older, at least theoretically anyway. I've been experiencing that myself. I try not to sweat the little things as much. And even if I have some major problems that I have to overcome, I still tell myself that, hey, this is just a challenge that you need to be consistent with, you keep working on. And as long as you're doing that, it's going to work out in the end, right? Because, yeah, I got some other things going on in my life too. Not really, well, okay, fine, whatever. The one of the big things is, like, you know, I got a lot of debt. So that's just something I'm gradually paying off over time. As long as I stick to that program that I'm on to help me pay the debt, good to go, right? It always hangs over my head that I have that debt, but I don't let it get to me as much anymore because I'm dealing with it, right? Does that make any sense? Like, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, Mary, but for everybody else, let me know in the comment section down below. How's the temperature over by you guys? It's 52 over by me. So, yeah, it's getting a little chilly, but nothing too bad. It's not like it's in the 30s or 40s or, heaven's sakes, like the high teens and 20s. That's crazy. Imagine me trying to ride a bike out in that kind of weather. Hell no. No way, Jose. Absolutely, sweetheart. We got all debt, or we all got debt. Man, debt be like that, huh? A lot of folks start this out for debt and end up with a YouTube channel. Yeah, makes sense. I remember seeing channels like Meaty Mama, for example. I know she would always advertise in her videos, like, paying off her debt. And then I've seen a lot of other channels too. Pretty much similar thing. But, we're all dealing with it, right? I swear, it's always warmer on that side of Florida, isn't it? I actually used to live on that side of Florida. We lived in Spring Hill. That's not too far away from your at. So we used to live in Spring Hill. We actually moved from Long Island down to Spring Hill at first. I don't remember exactly why we did. I remember my great-grandparents, they moved there first. I think they were just visiting or taking a vacation. And then my grandmother followed suit as well. And with my grandmother following suit, since we all lived in the same house, so did my mom, so did me. I wasn't even 10. I was like 9.5 at the time. And I know Uncle Vinny and Uncle Jimmy, they stayed up north. Was Uncle Vinny, he had his own place to live. Uncle Jimmy, I'm not exactly sure. Memory's a little fuzzy on that stuff, but yeah, essentially we all just piggybacked down to Spring Hill, Florida. We lived there for about 4 years. And then we moved over to this side, so the east coast of Florida. So we moved over in Sebastian, Florida. I don't remember 100% why we did. I just remember that my grandmother's best friend, her name's Karen, she was like, oh, you got to move here. It was a retirement community and blah, blah, blah. It sounded kind of nice, but it was like half the size of the house we already lived in. And, just a whole bunch of other stuff on top of that. About 8 years later, I moved out. I moved in with an ex-girlfriend at the time, and the ex-girlfriend, she was living with my best friend's parents / guardians, whatever. That didn't really work out long term. I moved back in, and then I moved up to Titusville because of a buddy of mine. He wanted to work on a music project with me, and we thought of the idea to move in together because, I moved in with him. And I moved in with his mom. So it was 3 of us. So I packed my bags. I moved up to Titusville. Even though that living arrangement didn't quite work out, I'm still in contact with him. And I'm still in Titusville. I found my current landlord. She's a really sweet, very supportive person. Plus, she's also the mother of Lucy the Shar-Pei. You've seen her in a cameo of a previous video I've done. Sweetest little girl in the whole wide world. And I am her unkie. So that's a little rundown on that stuff. Mike the Ski Dasher. That's funny. Let's see. So then earned by time was worth $9.60. She gave me an extra couple dollars because I took a picture of food and the restaurant. Cool. I'm glad that earned by time worked out for you, Mary. Earn by time in my area is absolutely terrible. Nobody tips in earn by time. And most of the time the food's cold, right? So you go to the restaurant, the food's already cold, and the customer's just going to give you a 1-star rating anyway, and they won't tip. It's like, oh, but you got earned by time. You made a little extra money instead of $2. It was like $4.36. Yeah, but that could have been spent on me getting like a shopping order, It's just, I don't know. Earn by time just doesn't work for me in this area, for one. And two, food delivery in particular is super slow here, right? No, like there's a lot of broke bitches in Titusville. Let me tell you, lots of broke bitches in Titusville. Ain't nobody tipping for food, but they'll happily place grocery orders. They'll happily place shopping orders. That's where the cash flow in my area is. Now, obviously, earn by time works for you. I'm happy it does. And earn by time might even work for someone else. Maybe it does work for some people. I don't know. Sure as hell it doesn't work for me. Shopping orders is where it's at in Titusville. So that's just where a lot of my cash flow is at. And you followed along with my 69 Recovery Road series. Some of those days were just dreadful, man. Like every order that you saw in those videos is all I got that day. Just some of the days I was like struggling to crack $30, $40 on just food delivery. I'd have to get Rhodey to come in clutch for the prescriptions because, Rhodey, I know you like Rhodey too. Rhodey comes in clutch sometimes, but otherwise it's definitely the shopping orders in this area. So I don't know. I guess it depends on the overall wealth of the community that you live in. I'm not sure how much money that people in Clearwater, Tampa area, I'm not sure how wealthy they are. I don't know how much they like to eat out. In Titusville, some people like to eat out, but there's no tip. So fuck that. That's just me. Uncle Tommy moved here first. I see. Don't need a house. It's big down here because you don't have to spend the winter inside of it. Yeah. Lucy is adorable. Hey, what's going on, Colleen? Glad to see you. Glad to see you. I'm sure we'll get some more people popping in at some point too. So that's cool. Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to do for this live stream, hence the title, Would You Rather? So I don't know if any other gig workers in this community, I don't know if they've done this before, but I thought of this idea, would you rather? And essentially I would compare a couple different things, add some criteria to it, and then we can collectively decide, or we can individually decide, which one do we prefer? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll share the screen. And, I did come up with a scenario. I'll just read it out, and I'll let you guys vote on whatever you would rather do if you had to do it. Are those the exact rules of would you rather? I have no clue, but whatever. It's okay. So hopefully you can see this. I tried to scroll it up as much as possible. That way it's a little easier to read because this live stream is in phone format, 9:16 format. Unfortunately, the actual screens to share, unless I was doing this on a phone screen, is horizontal. So it's 16:9 format. So it's not able to present it quite the way I would like to see it. But oh well, as I usually say, I digress. But I did come up with a scenario on the screen for would you rather. And I'm going to read everything off and I'm going to ask you guys, what would you rather do in this scenario if you had to pick one? So the first scenario that I got on the left, it is a DoorDash order and it's paying $7. It's going only 1 mile, but it's a shop and deliver for 10 items. One of the items is a bulky item. And for the example for this, 24 pack of water, and it's a $0 tip. So that's scenario number one. $7, 1 mile, shopping order, 10 items with a 24 pack case of water and no tip. So basically just base pay, or if there's promo pay, whatever. Scenario number two, you got an Uber Eats order. It's paying $10 for 2 miles. It's a food delivery with 4 bags and 4 drinks. But there's a 50% chance that you'll get tip baited. Which scenario sounds most interesting to you? Which would you rather in this situation? Would you rather the $7 1 mile shopping order with a big item and no tip? Or would you take the $10 for 2 miles Uber Eats order that has a 50% chance to tip bait? You guys let me know in the comment section down below. And after you guys provide your answers, I'll give you my answer. Because I got to think about this one too, right? I was writing it out. I was thinking about it a little bit, but now I have to actually think, which one would I take? And for whatever reason, think of all kinds of reasons why you may or may not take it, right? Would you take it for the cash flow? Would you take it for the dollars to mile? Would you take it for the guaranteed tip? Would you take it for maybe the acceptance rate, depending on the rewards program, right? Like the Uber Eats rewards program or the Doordash rewards program, whichever you believe has like the better incentive behind it, or I guess whichever you're willing to make a compromise on above the other. You know, all kinds of reasons that you guys can think of. Let me know in the comments. All right, so Indie Gig Life chose Uber. All right, interesting. So now I want to know, Indie Gig Life, why would you choose it? You can let me know that in the comment section down below. No bueno. Yeah. No, I wouldn't exactly say these are stellar orders for sure. You figure the DoorDash order, there's no tip, right? And you see a bunch of these channels in the gig community, these like fitness guru, or not fitness, these financial gurus, whoever you want to call them, right? They're always saying no tip, no trip. So if you are someone that is no tip, no trip, and you're no tip, no trip, no matter what, obviously you're not gonna pick this order, right? That's one way to look at it. You can also look at it in the sense that, you know, how long do you have to wait in the store for, right? Is there a long line? Is it going to take like 10, 15 minutes just to wait in line, bag everything up, and then go? Are you able to carry the big bulky item to begin with? Like, you know, do you have hip problems? You got arthritis? You got something that will impede your ability to pick up that order? Excuse me. Those are all kinds of reasons against the DoorDash order. But then you got the Uber Eats order, which has a 50% chance to tip bait. So pretty much, however much the base pay is, let's say it's like $2 or $3. It's basically a coin flip to get the tip or to lose it. So then you might only wind up getting $2 or $3. So that's a pretty big gamble if you want to look at it that way. However, it's only going 2 miles, right? It's only slightly further than the shopping order. You might not have to wait as long at the restaurant. Like, you might wait like 3 or 5 minutes, unless you're like at a McDonald's or a Panda Express or some other restaurant that is notorious for long wait times. And the order's pretty small, right? But then again, you also got drinks, right? What if you hit a speed bump and you spill the drinks? Or what if the customer like really docks you for spilling the drinks? So all kinds of things can go wrong with either one, right? You got the no tip, the big items, the potentially long wait time to shop for the order, or you got the one that has a 50% chance to not even get the tip at all. So Indie Gig Life says, I don't do shopping orders that low, and I don't reward them for not tipping unless it's higher base pay. That's understandable. I mean, I've seen some shopping orders in my area. They'll pay like $6, $7, pretty similar to this, right? 3 or 4 items going like 2 or 3 miles. And if I know that it's not going to take that long to wait in line, especially if the self-checkouts are open, I might take it and be like, you know, cash flow. If it's like really slow, you know? And then I find out there's no tip. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. So DoorDash was willing to give that much more base pay, even though it's typically like $2 or $3 base pay, starting base pay for a lot of these shopping orders, right? The base pay is only slightly higher than food delivery orders for DoorDash, which is bullshit in my opinion. But I digress yet again. But it does make me wonder, why are they sometimes willing to pay that additional like $3 or $4 on top of it, right? Is it because the order gets passed around a lot? Is it just waiting in the algorithm for someone to get it? Or Is there some other reason? I don't know. It's interesting. Throwing up with gas. So you're in the know. Understandable, Mary. You don't do Uber anymore. Well, actually, why don't you do Uber anymore? Is it tip baiting customers? You had some bad experiences with them? Or are you talking about the ride share? Like Uber Eats or ride share? Which one were you doing before, Mary? I know a big turnoff for me is the fact that customers can snatch the tip away fairly easily in Uber Eats, which is ridiculous. And since you don't do Uber anymore, would that mean that you would do the DoorDash order? You'll let me know in the comment section down below. I know you're busy right now, but whatever. That's fine. But yeah, I gotta say this one's I'm not sure actually. I wonder what I would do. I wonder because I mean that $7 is a guaranteed $7, right? Even though there's no customer tip, you're not getting tip baited because there's no tip, right? You can't get tip baited if there was never a tip to begin with, right? And that guaranteed $7 versus the guaranteed, let's say like $2 or $3 from Uber Eats. But the Uber Eats order is paying higher, probably a shorter wait time, smaller order, at the cost of a 50% chance to be tip baited. I don't know. Like it could go either way, right? It could, at least in some ways. Hey, what's going on, Kane? Good to see you. Uber deactivated me after a lying customer. Oh, okay. So it was the ride share. Oof. That sucks. Hey, look at that. Kane's back again. What's going on, Kane? Good to see you. So let's see. That's your debt account. Okay. So I should probably put your Cairo one as a mod. Yeah, let me go to my life real quick. Okay, there you go. Cool. And then let's put Sunny back on. Oh, wait, that's Bomb City. Oh, you could subscribe to Bomb City too if you feel like it. New Grubhub features. And it's a video from Your Driving Mike. I mean, I don't really like that guy too much, but I mean, he's got a big channel, and if you comment on it, might get people to subscribe to you. I don't know. Okay, looking for sunny cornsicles. There we go. Cool. Just giving us some public watch hours. I know Nicole, she needs public watch hours too. She's got the subscribers, but she doesn't have the public watch hours. And she's got a bit of a ways to go. I think she's like a third of the way there. So we'll see. Okay, let's see. Mary says, I would do the DoorDash. They can't take the tip. I mean, technically they could. It's a lot more difficult though. So, yeah. Now, keep in mind, this DoorDash order doesn't have a tip, so it's basically just $7 base pay. So, I mean, I guess you can't take a tip if a tip was never there to begin with, right? Let's see. Kane says you should DoorDash a British short hair. Yes, I will DoorDash a British short hair. New video coming out April 20th, 2069. Today I decided I'm not doing no-tip shopping orders until after the season. Yeah, that was pretty much when I was seeing the no-tip shopping orders too. But again, it's like those orders were paying like $6 or $7, so it would be safe to assume they had a tip. But then I find out after the fact they don't. So I would make notes of whoever those customers were. And then when I see their order in my algorithm again, it's like, oh, okay, so this is a customer that doesn't tip, but it's $6, $7 of total pay, and I could probably get it done in like 10, 15 minutes. So not the worst order in the world, right? But yeah, I guess we pretty much have like a 50-50. So Mary would take the DoorDash. Yeah, Mary would take the DoorDash, and Indy would not take the DoorDash. He would take the Uber. So I got you. They would take the Uber. Interesting. DoorDash, British short hair, and a CD of 311 Don't Tread on Me. Yes, good stuff. And we got Dennis Bigfoot in the house. What's going on, dude? Yo, Mike, Mary said come and show you some love, bro. Well, I appreciate that, Dennis. Happy New Year as well. And while you're still here, Dennis, I don't know if you can see the screen, but I've got a would you rather scenario, 2 different scenarios, right? If you had to choose one of these orders to do, based on whatever your criteria, reasoning, expectations may be, which one would you choose? Would you choose the DoorDash order, paying $7, going 1 mile? It's a shopping order for 10 items, including a bulky item, but there's no tip. Or would you pick the Uber Eats order, $10 for 2 miles? It's a food delivery with 4 bags, 4 drinks, but there's a 50% chance to get tip baited. Can't read it. Yeah, I wish I could change the aspect ratio for the screen itself. I can't, though. And I can't change the aspect ratio of the video as it is. Yeah, orientation settings are disabled while live. But, I mean, I know why. I'm sure you know why I have this aspect ratio for the live, right? It puts it in the shorts feed. YouTube is just going crazy with pushing shorts, so it only made sense. I wish they could change the aspect ratio, though. But that is why I'm reading them, too. If you want, I can zoom in a little bit. I'll zoom in on the DoorDash order if you want. So I don't know if you can read that, Mary. I tried to make it as big as I could. That's what she said. So that's the DoorDash order. And then we got the Uber Eats order. Let's see. The new question. Oh, I don't have the new question yet, but I'll come up with a scenario. Or if you guys have suggestions for a scenario, you can let me know in the comment section down below too. All right, so Dennis would take the food and tip. Interesting, Dennis. Okay. Okay, yeah, there we go. That seems to be a decent size. Possibly. Okay. People tip for food delivery more, I'd bet. I don't know. The jury's out on that one. I know in my area, there's more shopping orders than food delivery. And more of the no-tip orders I've seen are also food delivery. I've seen some decent tips from shopping orders. But percentage-wise, that's another way to look at it too, is percentage-wise, which one is more impressive? Because like if you get a $10 order for an order that a customer paid $100 for and it's a shopping order and you got to go in the store and shop for it, yeah, it's a $10 tip, right? But you had to do like a whole grocery order and then wait in line and pack it up and drop it off just to get the $10, which is a 10% tip, right? But if a customer pays like $10 at Taco Bell and they tip $2, yeah, it's only $2 tip, but it's a 20% tip, right? So that leads into an interesting dynamic, right? Like tip by percentage, tip by total. Is a 20% $2 tip more impressive than a 10% $10 tip? I guess that's another way you can look at it too. Let's see. That's a huge problem with green screens. I noticed Damon gig work has been the same issue. I'm on the phone. This isn't a vertical. There's no way to be able to read it. This isn't a vertical. Huh. That's weird. Yeah, it's supposed to show up in the shorts feed. I don't know why it's not doing that. Let me try to view it on my end. Yeah, it shows in the short feeds on my end. So I don't know where you went, Mary, to visit the live stream, but if you go directly to my channel and then you go to click on the live stream, it should show up that way. And the horizontal shared screen that's on my screen right now should look bigger, but you can get back to me on that one. Let me know if it works. Too much math. Gotta trust your gut. Yeah, I hear you. And we got MB313. Mike and Chad, it's great to see you live this evening. Well, good to see you too, MB. And before we move on to another scenario, I made this scenario with a would you rather. So if you had to pick one of these scenarios, MB, which one would you choose and why? All kinds of reasons, whatever expectations that you have set for yourself, why would you take it? Let's see. MB says, personally, I take the Uber Eats order. I'm guessing because, well, there's a tip for one, and it's paying higher, right? And plus, I guess another way you can look at it is, given the fact that it's a smaller order, you probably have to spend less time working on. It's not as impactful if you do get the tip taken away because you spent less time, right? Because one big thing to always consider with gig work is, regardless of dollar to mile or any stuff like that, you pay with time, right? We pay with our time to do this work. So ultimately, what do you believe is more valuable for your time? Because time, right, you can't get a refund on that, right? You can get a refund on a DoorDash order. You can get a refund on a corn hat or a phone for whatever reason. But time, you cannot. Once it's spent, it's gone. So that's always something I try to think about too, right? You know, how much time am I spending out just in the parking lot, just waiting for an order, versus like, oh, well, is there something else I can do if I don't expect work to be busy today? Or if I'm like in a comfortable enough situation where I can take some time off. Because that's important too, man. It's important to know too, like, you need to take some time off. You need to take breaks. You need to do something that isn't work and enjoy yourself. I tell myself that all the time. I'm still working on it. I'm sure you guys can relate. Tip is minimum $5 because a person is driving the car to bring in the food. Yeah, I hear you. You don't know what I'm talking about. I was talking about, well, I mean, you know, you can catch the replay if you want, but essentially what I was saying, it was kind of brought up, the idea of, like, you know, how you spend your time, how you spend your resources, and how time is something you can't get back once it's spent. So how you spend it counts too. Because it's like, you know, are you willing to spend more of that precious time that you can't get back towards that DoorDash order that doesn't have a tip, or towards the Uber Eats order that is more volatile with the tip, but requires less time and resources to do? If that makes sense. Oh, there you go. You figured too, like, you know, something that you actually enjoy doing in between the work. That's one thing I definitely appreciate about gig work is I am able to just work on something else while I'm waiting for DoorDash to send me an offer, while I'm waiting for Grubhub, Uber Eats to send me an offer. Or if it's just a really slow period of time and I don't want to work. It's not like a regular 9 to 5 job where you have to clock in, you have to clock out, you have to work that whole time except for your 15-minute break and your 30-minute lunch. But having no real agency over that, right? That's being left to someone else to decide. Your boss, right? But there's trade-offs with that too, as we all know. In fact, a lot of people in gig work, they already have a W-2 job on top of doing gig work. They say like upwards of 48% of gig workers use gig work as supplementary income. So they already have a job that they're working, they're 9 to 5s, and then they're doing gig work on top of that. I know there's a couple people in our community in particular, more than a couple people, doing that very same thing. Hell, some of you probably are. You can let me know in the comment section down below if that is what you're doing as well. People say that America's economy is failing, but people are ordering food and vacationing around more than ever. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Speaking of vacation, I would like to take one this year. I'm planning to see my best friend. She lives in Tennessee. I'd love to see her. I hope I could do it though, right? I'm putting money aside in my rainy day fund account, if you guys know what I'm talking about too, right? That little bit of rainy day emergency funds that you got to put towards your taxes, put towards, well, emergencies. I'm trying, whatever I have left over after paying my taxes this year, want to put that towards the vacation. I'm not going to vlog it though, but I'll take pictures if and when I do. Let's see. You agree time is valuable, sometimes as valuable as money, in my opinion. Hell, I'd even argue more. Man. Because the thing is, like, if we're not happy with one gig app and that gig app we basically become a wage slave to, can move on to another one. Or a particular niche, if one niche we become a wage slave to, we can move on to a different one. Rather than just continue to drain yourself. Now, I know it's more complicated than that, but still, right? Time is precious, man. It really is. I mean, hell, I would rather just continue to get by somewhat comfortably, and that's a big asterisk, somewhat comfortably, and still have time to put towards things I want to do in my life, than to always chase the dollar, chase that bag of cash, like a lot of the financial gurus are telling us, because you have to put a lot of fucking time into that, dude. And that's time that could be spent actually enjoying life instead of just, $500 in a day. Oh, that's not good enough. It's got to be $600 in a day. $600 a day. Oh, I could have made $700, and then so on and so forth. In a way, it's like, sure, in a way, it's motivation, and it's motivation to push yourself to keep doing better. But at the same time, it's like, that's all you're spending your time doing. And that's time that you can spend hanging out with your best friend that you haven't seen in a couple of years. Or, I don't know, riding a bicycle, learning an instrument or something, right? You don't always have to chase that dollar, man. Again, like, you're basically just becoming a wage slave. And you figure everyone that's got a 9 to 5 job is pretty much doing that already. It's like, how much different are you really if that is what you succumb to? Unless you have to do it, which I know a lot of people have to do it. But hell, trust me, I've even thought about it a couple of times. I've thought about going back to a W-2 job a couple of times, but haven't done it yet. Oh, okay, cool. Mary made over $100 today. Nice. Congratulations, Mary. Need a couple meetups, but I didn't do my normal vacations last year, and I don't want her food hardly at all anymore. Not sure who you mean by her food, but yeah, I get what you mean by the first one. Well, this is more of a confidential thing, so it's more of a privacy thing with my best friend. Plus, I don't like to document every single thing I do, you know? Like I do value my privacy, I do value my alone time. So, you know, ultimately I was like, you know what? Out of respect for you, my best friend, not going to give her name, but out of respect for her, not vlogging the trip. But like I said, I'll take pictures. So there's that. Like, yeah, I definitely want to get this channel monetized, and I'll definitely start live streaming more. But I also don't want to spend 24 hours a day live streaming. I have no fucking privacy if I did that. You'd be surprised too, man, right? I really value my peace and quiet, and I really value my privacy. If I don't have that, I get extremely irritable. I get short fused. My depression symptoms become difficult to hide. I would just appreciate not to do that. But to each their own, right? To each their own. That's just me. Let's see. Mind stretcher. Oh, that's Dennis. Cool. Thanks for commenting, Dennis. Commented on one of my videos that I made. You know, speaking of videos, if you guys want a little something to binge, I will put up one of my playlists. I'll put up my WL playlist. That's watch list. So that pretty much has all of the longest style content that I've posted on this channel so far. Yeah, you probably heard the intro. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Mike's WL playlist. Because as you guys may or may not know by now, I am on the road to monetizing this channel. I want to make it happen this year, right? If there's any possibility I can make it happen, it's with this channel, because this channel has a clearly defined niche, right? You read my name, you get some idea what this channel's about. Mike the Bike Dasher. So a guy named Mike, he has a bike and he dashes on his bike. Makes sense, right? And I know Mary loves the name, and she loves saying stuff like Mike the Bike Dasher. So I'll put that playlist in here. You guys copy the link, watch it, and I don't care if you guys don't even comment on it. Just watch it, right? Let's get those public watch hours, baby. Let's see, what do we got? You should save money while you can, while you're young, but Social Security will be there. I'm doing my best, Mary. I've had a pretty rough couple years with this work that I've done, but not just this work, other things that were put into the work, a lot of other things outside of the work. In a lot of ways, my motor giving out yesterday felt like a big blow, but it's okay, right? I just see that as another challenge to overcome, and me using my resourcefulness to keep going. Like, my resourcefulness and self-sufficiency are why I'm still here. It's a long story behind that, but that's just give you a general idea of that. But I am doing my best to save some money. I have been putting aside 15% of everything I make just to have that guaranteed 15.3% sales tax rate that gig workers pay, or should I say 1099 NECs. So that's how I've been doing it. Mike sees numbers, a lot of people don't. Polls. But yeah, this is the playlist. So it's in the chat. You guys want to highlight it, copy it, spin it on your browser, go right ahead. I mean, I make some good stuff, man. I put a lot of time and effort and love into my videos. So until I start live streaming more, this is also the best way to help boost those public watch hours. And that gives you some idea of how my deliveries are like, how my overall style is like, you know, sense of humor, the memes, the puns, the editing stuff. So that's one way you can do it. But I will do more live streams though. I'm not going to be doing them 24 hours a day though, so you know, temper your expectations. Me guide then is what I do best right now. Sweet, appreciate that. Like to live stream when I work. Yes, I will think more on that one. I have to get that plan first, but I already had to renew my phone beforehand. But I will switch providers to Visible because I definitely need data. So I'll definitely use that link that you emailed me the other day. I'll get signed up with that pretty soon. And at the very least, I'll try a couple live streams like that, see how it goes. Good to be resourceful. Yeah, you got it, man. You got to do it. Because keep in mind, too, right? Like, it's just me and Titusville. And all I have left for family, at least easily accessible family that haven't cut themselves off from us, is my mom and brother. And they're only just getting by in their own place, right? So when you don't have a big family and the family you have left, they're not exactly made of money either. They don't have these incredible inheritances. And you pretty much just have yourself for like almost 100% of everything. How much can you make of it other than just try to be as self-sufficient as possible, you know? But I have my own issues too, right? I've said this to Mary before. I'm a little too modest for my own good. I'm a little too closed off for my own good. A lot of that comes from my general bitterness, right? I'm very bitter in my life, and that hasn't gotten better as I've gotten older, because people love to fuck around and be assholes, and they love to backstab you. They like to act as if they have your best of interest, but then they pull out the rug from under you. So then it becomes, I guess you become more cautious to put your trust in people. It's like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, I don't have malicious intent, right? I'm not a malicious guy. I don't go out of my way to harass people, make people feel like shit. But yet, people love to mistake kindness for weakness. And then they find a reason to take advantage of you. It's like, what the fuck, man? What did I do to you? I've been nothing but supportive. And I know some of you guys have, I'm sure all of you guys, to some extent, have felt that in your lives too. But I'm not trying to have that bitterness cloud my judgment and prevent people from coming into my life. You know what I mean? I'm trying not to do that. That's something I've been working on too. But I also don't want to feel like I'm imposing myself if I just suddenly talk about things I need help with, right? I don't want to just impose myself, because I know everybody is struggling and just trying to get by and take care of their loose ends too. So it's like, what the hell, you know? I'm going to suddenly add something to their plate, you know? But some people are like, no, you're good. You're good. Let me help you. Let me promote the channel. Such as Mary, for example. And Dashing Across America, Chuck, I mean, he really came in clutch for me by guest featuring me on his channel. That was great. I loved it. I literally gained like over 20 subscribers from that. That was awesome, dude. I really appreciated it. And, you know, I know I can't do it alone, right? If I just do it alone, I'm not going to get anywhere with that. It's kind of bullshit, but oh well. So my in a lot of ways, my self-sufficiency and resourcefulness keeps me closed off in a lot of ways, because it pretty much is me and me having to do it, because if I don't do it, no one will. But if you have people in your life that are willing to help you with things they can, then it's me allowing them and being like, well, you have my best of interest. I shouldn't just be closed off to you. You know what I mean? And it's not like I wouldn't do the same in return either, because I have. And, you know, people would still fuck you over. But then there are people that are genuinely appreciative and supportful. And like, it's like, wow, thanks for coming through for me, Mike. You know, I'll get, you know, I'll hit you up. I'll get you back for something. So, I mean, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you guys experience that yourselves too. So, live streaming helped me a lot, my social skills and interactions. You know, a big thing that helped me earlier on in life too, I took speech class in college, and we're not talking speech classes in like if you have a speech impediment, you need to learn how to talk or whatever. I did take that when I was younger too. Like, I think I was like 7, 8. I took a speech class in Catholic school because I did have issues speaking, had a stutter and whatnot. But I did take speech class in college, public speaking. What was it? Fundamental speech and communication class in college. I was taking dual enrollment in high school, so I was doing high school and college at the same time. And that class tremendously helped me with being able to speak in front of people and have some kind of confidence to overcome stage fright, because I had stage fright for the longest time too. Another thing that helped me too was when I used to go to this church that I went to, they needed a drummer, and I auditioned to be their drummer, because as some of you guys may or may not know, I am a drummer. Let me, you might be able to see it. Okay, there we go. Got my drum set behind me. Don't mind the other stuff. We got contractors cleaning up the counters and whatnot. They still got to polish the epoxy. So I had to bring up my coffee setup in here. But anyway, that aside, that helped me a lot too. That basically forced me to have to play in front of hundreds of people. And at first it was a little nerve-wracking, because this was while I was taking that speech class in college in dual enrollment, right? But it was also exhilarating because, you know, I'm not exactly a terrible drummer. Like, I'm decent, right? I'm decent. And people would finally get to see that publicly. And in a lot of ways, it was cool, because sometimes when I play, I kind of get in a trance, right? It's difficult to describe, but essentially you get locked in the groove. You get locked in whatever is going on with the music scape, and you just like, you get fucking high from it, and it feels so good. You know? So I started experiencing that while playing in front of hundreds of people at church, right? But I was also improving my speaking skills to speak in front of people. And then it got to the point where I would actually host speeches at the church, like if there were fundraisers and stuff like that. Or, you know, if I had to speak in front of a bunch of people. I've even spoken in front of a courtroom before a couple of times, not because I had my own legal issues or anything, but, you know, well, not a courtroom, but like a town hall meeting. There was one time with a courtroom, but like I said, no legal trouble. But so even something like that, you know, just different types of settings, scenarios where you have to publicly talk in front of a bunch of people. And yeah, it's not like I wouldn't stutter. I wouldn't roll over my words. I wouldn't be feasting on a word salad, if you know what I'm talking about. But it's being able to recognize that and be like, oops, my bad. Anyway, speech impediment aside, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, let's go on, you know, stuff like that. It's cool. But, you know, that stuff helped me a lot too. Must take the high road. Yes. That's also a song from the band Mastodon. It's one of my favorite songs from them. I love the groove. A heavy ass down tune riff. A really cool melody in the chorus. Don't let negative things have an effect on you. Embrace it to conquer. It is what I did. Yes. Church. I know I especially had to apply that kind of advice online because, let's be honest, there's a lot of fucking trolls and just extremely negative people, and we know that social media feeds off of negativity. So it's like, can I exist in these spaces with these people? At first, it kind of sucked, but after a while, it's like, you know what? They're just a bunch of retards that never cared about me, so fuck them. And fuck you, and just go on and find other people that you actually like and people that like you and care about you and support you. Used to study yourself. Yeah, I hear you. I still do it to this day too. Sometimes I stutter, sometimes I feast on a word salad, but I'm like, let me try that again. Rewind and then do it again. I also have no shame in poking fun at myself if I'm being a dum-dum or if I do a dum-dum. It's whatever, right? Took a special class in 5th grade. Or special class, speech class. I don't know. Either way, I see. Unlimited. Nice. Noise. Let's see. You should check out Danny Stanton. Superior drummer. He has a no-arm drummer. Huh. Look him up. He's amazing. How good he is. Sure. He must be really good with his feet then, huh? That's cool, dude. Let me, Danny Stanton. I'm not going to play his thing. Don't want any of that copyright stuff, but I will see if I can find him. No arm drummer. Oh, okay. Here we are. Okay. Can't play that, but I will add it to my watch later list. Cool. Yeah, I'll check that out later. If you could win over a troll, YouTube is a cakewalk. Yeah. I mean, keep in mind, too, this isn't my first rodeo. I've had another, I have another channel. I'm not really active on it anymore, but I've had, let's say, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of peaks and valleys with that channel. The biggest problem I had was I was burned out, and I was also struggling to want to continue a channel that had, like, no clearly defined niche. It was just sort of whatever I spontaneously was in the mood for. Like if I wanted to make music content, if I wanted to make work vlogs, if I wanted to talk about philosophical issues or just something different, that was the home for me just posting whatever the hell I felt like in the moment. The problem with that, if your whole channel is like that, YouTube used to welcome that, by the way. YouTube used to be like, YouTube, do whatever the hell you want, whatever you feel like. You got an audience, they're going to follow you. And as long as people like your content, it's going to be promoted. YouTube doesn't really do that anymore, though. Like YouTube is very specific now about categorizing things into niches and having a place with clearly defined niches in. So that's what inspired me to come up with this channel that I'm currently active on right now, Mike the Bike Dasher, because I have prior experience, almost 2 years now, of making work vlogs. But if it's not really a work vlog type channel, if it's not a channel that isn't specifically about that, then it sort of confuses the algorithm, right? At least this is what YouTube claims, right? That's YouTube, not my words. So YouTube is like, well, what is this? Why are you doing this? Who do we promote it to? But if you have a clearly defined niche and a home for that niche, then that is your algorithm. That you're helping to construct that algorithm clearly defined, right? So that's what this channel is. This channel is that type of is some of that type of content I made on my main channel, but it's its own home, therefore it's its own niche, rather than just a do all or do whatever the hell you want type of channel where YouTube doesn't know how to promote it, how or when to promote it. It's a little more complicated than that, because sometimes you'll just make a random ass video and then suddenly you get thousands of views for it. Or you make a specific type of content on that, do all whatever the hell you want. And then YouTube finds the stuff that they want to promote. Like on my main channel, for example, it's called Michael Tunney. That's my main channel. I have a couple bike review videos, and those are the biggest videos on my channel. One of them is about my Iawata Juliet bike. That's gained over 10,000 views and hundreds and hundreds of public watch hours, tons of subscribers from that video. That video was a hit. It was a big hit. It's the biggest hit on that channel. It's the most successful video I've ever made. The problem is, like, I don't have the money to just buy more bikes. And it's like these bike companies, they're not going to just sign up affiliate links or send free bikes to no names, So I was in like a catch-22 with that sort of thing. Because I paid my own money for that bike, right? That wasn't sent to me by a company. It wasn't a sponsor or any shit like that. It was my own money. And I made $0 from it. I make $0 from the channel. But, even though it was nice to see that, it's like eventually you hit a wall because you're making all kinds of content, but it's all in the same place, and it just creates this confusing ass algorithm. It's like, how the hell do you promote it? Taking the high road is pure gold with the trolls. Yeah. Hell, on my main channel, I had like a couple people making like 20, 30 plus impersonation accounts with stupid names to try to troll me. And it's like, whatever, ban, funny name, that's cute. It's whatever. And, I've met some people on YouTube that I thought I was, like in good relations with, but then I find out more about some of their like questionable beliefs and things. And it's like, who the hell is this person? What kind of shit do they believe in? And then you provide your stance on a particular subject that isn't directly attacking anyone. It's just providing my nuanced perspective on something. And then they dedicate live streams to make you look like the biggest piece of shit in the world. And then it's like, well, here's the thing. If I'm going to respond to that, that's going to give them attention. That's going to add fuel to the fire. And that's going to not really look good for me, even if I have a right to stand up for myself. So when I saw that stuff, I was like, you know what? I just don't have the time for this. I don't care enough to be invested in this shit, right? You can say and do whatever the hell you want. Doesn't matter if it's trying to hurt my feelings or shit. It's whatever. So I would see that, and I was like, I ain't see nothing. And I go about my day. And that same kind of attitude has also come over to this channel. I mean, I haven't gotten into any like beefs or controversies with anybody, but I sure as hell never planned to get in any at all anyway, but still. Like, if anyone tried, I'd just be like, whatever. Shut the fuck up. Who cares? The algorithm is on master. I think they have to revamp it. Oh, yeah, big time. I just miss the days when someone can just turn on a camera. They have like a flash in the pan idea. They record the idea, whether it's perfect or not. And people are intrigued. They like it. They show their support for the channel. And then that promotes the channel. YouTube is not like that anymore. YouTube is basically, you have to do specific categorizations of trendy stuff, and it has to look the part by the title, by the by the title of the video, by the thumbnail, by the hashtags, by the upload time, by the what the fuck ever, right? Extremely specific categorizations, right? YouTube's algorithm is pretty much all of that now, right? You have to have everything specifically categorized, or otherwise YouTube just fucking ignores it. And it's bullshit, right? It's like, okay, well, instead of just doing whatever you're in the mood for on one main channel, now you have to have like 5-10 channels if you're into 5-10 different niches. It's like, what the fuck, man? Like, why not just me be me, and whatever I feel like being in the moment, people like, there's an audience for that and YouTube will promote it. But no, that's just not the case, right? Like, yeah, the subscriber count was growing, but it was like it was like a game of inches and growing by the millimeter. It's like, that's bullshit, man, right? You make quality shit and yet YouTube doesn't promote it. It's ridiculous. But at the very least, with this channel and with some of the other ones I've done too, it's specifically categorized, right? It's specifically categorized and following that specification criteria that YouTube wants us to do, right? That's what they want. So I'm playing by those rules, right? I'm playing by those rules that YouTube wants me to follow, but it's not at the expense of me being me, right? Whatever the hell I'm into, or whatever channel that I do stuff on, you're still going to get me, right? You're going to get whatever it is you like about me, whatever it is you love about me, whatever it is you can't stand about me. I don't care. That's just me, right? What you see is what you get. Authentic self right here. I love to joke. I love to make puns. I can get serious. I can go on tangents. I always keep it real. You're going to get that with me all the time, because that is who I am. You got it from whatever other channels and videos I did. Sure as hell is going to keep getting it now. In a lot of ways, that's like me saying fuck you to YouTube. But at the same time, I'm also playing by YouTube's rules with being able to have things categorized so the algorithm eventually works in my favor. So I see that as a win-win. What do you guys think? Plus, it also helps that I'm coming out of my shell and talking more with people and networking with people that actually have my best of interest, that I also have their best of interest, that I can help them with something in some way, shape, or form in return. I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. Oh, wait, yeah. See, dude, I know a guy who was the super troll of all time. He would take over channels by being 75% of the chat at once. Mastermind that guy. You know, somebody was doing that in Matthew Field's channel last night. Somebody kept they kept making references about like fat asses and pussies and dicks. And I know it was the same person, because they would make one account, spam like 20-30 messages in the chat, and then immediately another person with a different name would do the same thing. That's because YouTube does allow you to have so many channels. Like, yeah, you got to verify it to an extent, but still, right? You can literally be one person controlling like 30-40 channels. So a lot of the time, it's probably one person that just cannot stand you and they want to try to troll you and discourage you. YouTube is trying to send small channels into monetization right now. Yeah, I definitely think so. At least with the watch hours and the subscriber thresholds, I definitely think that. So that is based on YouTube for doing that. I still think the shorts criteria is bullshit. I mean, come on. 10 million views in 90 days to get monetization. Or what is it? 3 million, 4 million for channel memberships. Like, they're basically saying like, oh, well, you can be one of the select few that gets a viral video that gets millions of views, and then you can get eligible. It's like, no, like you might have higher odds of getting struck by lightning twice instead of that. But the watch hours is doable. So, that nitpick aside, I do like the lower entry point, right? The lower entry level for monetization. So I just know ultimately, right, I have a clearly defined niche. If I keep working towards that niche, because I also like being a part of it, I'll get there too. Plus, I mean, I got people like Mary, Sonny, Chuck, etc., yada, 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 cue the Seinfeld meme, who do have my best of interest in this gig space. So, much love, guys. They're trying to keep it clipping people's wings, keep people from getting monetized. Well, it depends. It really depends. Like, it is a lower threshold, but it does. I do feel like I'm also experiencing larger degrees of success because I am networking with people. So that might not be YouTube directly, but if YouTube does see you networking with people and those people promote your content, then I guess YouTube will throw you a bone. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I went through that about a month. They trolled me hard. Yeah, I remember you went on that tangent earlier about, the unspeakable individual with the unspeakable circumstances, because I know you don't want to get back into that. Understandably so. Or unless you're talking about a separate situation. But yeah, it's ridiculous, man. People just, they don't have lives, man. They literally spend their time in their parents' basement making like hundreds of sock accounts and troll accounts, just going around trying to harass people. It's retarded. Was there something else I missed? I chat a lot. I didn't realize it wasn't. Yeah. You chat a lot, didn't realize it wasn't polite. Oh, I don't care. Chat as much as you want. I'm pretty cool about how these chats go, right? People can talk about as much as they feel like. I'm not overly stingy about like having to keep to a specific topic about things. It doesn't really matter, right? Because if we were lacking autonomy like that in real life, we would just be single cell organisms discussing and doing single cell things. We know life's not that simple. You ignore it, meet new people, and go on. That's what I did. Yep, exactly. They want the activity of authentic, organic channels, yes, but they don't like to grow the community of S for S. I don't know. I know it's pretty complicated, so I don't have like overly dogmatic or overly I don't want to say dogmatic because I don't want that to come off as an insult or anything, but I don't have like overly absolute set in stone views of how YouTube works, right? Because YouTube will say certain things that increase odds and likelihood of what works for a channel, but then what works in practice versus what works on paper can differentiate from person to person too. I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, YouTube's algorithm will always remain one of life's biggest mysteries, but at the same time, they do have some clearly defined expectations, but we also know that life doesn't operate that simply either, which is where me networking with people comes in too, but also me trying to up the ante with certain types of content or how I make thumbnails or title videos or consistency. Like if I were to upload once a week or if I were to upload every day or if I were to live stream, once a week or live stream every day, all day, every day, or whatever, you know. We know there's all kinds of nuances and how one thing that works for one person may not necessarily guarantee working for someone else. I don't know. YouTube is trying something new, promoting smaller channels to get more variety. I sure hope so, right? I'm not overly convinced, but I can see that to a degree too. Like, I can sometimes see it because there are a lot of smaller channels that pop up in my feed. But then again, you know, is that more of a like playing second fiddle to the Mr. Beast or the Jake Paul or the Markiplier or insert gigantic YouTuber here who will always show up in your feeds too? I don't know. Jury's out on that one, but we'll see. Let's see. They've been doing a couple weeks, 3 weeks. That's why so many are getting monetized. Okay, so that seems to be fairly new from the looks of it. I mean, that's cool, man. You know, like if this holds up for me too, then getting monetized this year should be inevitable, right? Now, keep in mind, like, just getting monetized isn't the end goal. That's just, I know that's not really the end goal for anyone. That's just like, hey, you've reached this important threshold in your YouTube career. Where do we go from here? Bars. That's why you do multiple comments and likes per sub. Helps them grow. I'm not a bot. My sub sticks on my end, no matter how many I've added every day. Oh yeah, I mean, with my videos, I encourage commenting. Comment as much as you want. I don't care. I know some of my more recent videos, Mary's been leaving like 5-10 comments, all saying different things, and it's like, cool. That's cool. If anything, like maybe that'll like inspire more people to comment on my stuff more. I don't know. Because YouTube likes that too. YouTube likes engagement. We know it's not just clicks. It's not just views. It's not just watch hours. They like engagement too. Whether it be licking the video or leaving a comment. Those are my punny ways of saying like the video, comment for anybody that's new here. And Speedy. What's going on, Speedy? How you doing, bud? Yeah, I know who you are, Speedy. I've seen you. Good to see you. But if you're Mike the Bike Gasher, then you can do your dashing and you can repair your bike or... Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about, Mary. Right? That's what I'm talking about. I don't know if you've seen, like, sometimes I'll use my main channel to promote this channel too, where I'll say, well, I'll tag myself and be like, for work/bike content, because I am trying to get some of the subscribers from my other channel over to this channel too. Although, again, that's just additional promotion, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it isn't specifically me just doing work stuff, right? Mike the Bike Tasha tells you all kinds of stuff. The guy named Mike, he's got bikes. He dashes on a bike. But the fact that he got bikes possibly implies that he has experience with bikes in other ways. Because if you guys go to my other channel too, I actually have some videos. I made one about like how to change tires, for example, with e-bikes. I've done other stuff like e-bike motor maintenance, just little cool stuff like that. I've clipped them into shorts and, they've done reasonably well too. Or I've done reviews of bikes that I've purchased and currently own or used to own. I've done that as well. That stuff's going to be here too, right? Because it ties in with the overall theme of this channel, right? It isn't just specifically me working and only doing work on this channel. Whatever is in my username is what this channel is. So bike could be anything. It could be me dashing on my bike. It could be just leisurely riding my bike. It could be live streaming. It could be me doing repairs or talking about how-tos, maintenance, pros, cons, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. You know that Seinfeld meme with the lady, she's talking about the yada, yada, yadas. That's pretty much it. The grind with Nicole, she grinds through nail work, she grinds through video games. It's all the same subject. It's just different streams of the same subject. Yeah, she's got a recurring theme, right? She's grinding. Nicole is grinding. It makes sense, right? It gives you, her name gives you some idea about what she's doing without giving everything away. Because I know that's a big thing too. YouTube likes to tease. YouTube likes it when people tease. They'll show you a little bit, like they'll show you the ankle, right? But they won't show you the foot, or they won't show you the calf, or whatever the hell it is that you want, that you're interested in. Not to go down that way, but you know the example I'm talking about, right? They like when your username gives people an idea about what you're doing without giving everything away, because otherwise there's no mystery. There's nothing to find out. There's no intrigue if you're just telling everything that you're doing exactly, right? If I titled my videos exactly what happens, you know, like beat for beat, like pretty much it tells you the start, the middle, and the end. There's nothing to get invested in because you already have an idea of the general story. That's a problem I have with movie trailers now. Movie trailers, they give everything away. And then when you go visit the movie, well, you already knew what it was about because they gave away like 85% of the fucking film in a 1.5 minute, 2 minute span of time. YouTube is like that, to where they don't want you to give away everything to your audience, but to encourage teasing, to encourage sometimes clickbait. Now, the clickbait is kind of bullshit, but I understand, but you get what I'm saying. I like YouTube as well, Mary. You know, YouTube is pretty fucked up, has double standards, has tons of problems, but I like YouTube. YouTube's always been my favorite social media platform. Chat feeds the algorithm. Yep, that's true. That's why I love trolls. Yeah, honestly, I don't hate trolls. If anything, like sometimes from past experiences, I've had trolls with like the absolute most ridiculous names about me, and then they'll just spam like a whole shit ton of comments. It's like, it's actually kind of amusing. It pisses a lot of other people off because it's like, oh, ban the troll, get rid of the troll. But I watch it. It's like, well, yeah, I'll ban them, but wait a minute, right? This is kind of funny. You know, read the name, read what they're saying. It's like, it's purposely provocative, but yet it's also funny. And again, it drives the algorithm. Exactly what you said, right? It's engagement drives the algorithm. So you know, I know it kind of pisses some people off, gets the panties up in a bunch, but I also find it kind of amusing. I mean, I don't see obvious trolls and I'm like, oh, he's saying derogatory things about me. Boo-hoo, my feelings are all hurt. I'm gonna comment back to them and tell the troll, oh, you hurt my feelings. I don't want you to do that. Leave me alone. Be nice. No, they're not going to comply. They're going to troll you 3 times as hard if you actually cave in. Trolls love attention. You give trolls attention, you give them a reason to keep going. When you stop giving them attention, they're going to find someone else. They're like goddamn vultures, right? You got a carcass. You got lions and hyenas feasting on the carcass. You think a vulture is going to feast on that, knowing that the lions and the hyenas don't give a fuck? Or if you cross the line, they'll actually fuck you up? No, they're going to find something else to do. That's what trolls are. They're vultures, right? That's how they operate. What is S4S? I'm not sure, actually. I have no idea. I know Dennis brought that up. You can ask him. The other group used to get mad at me, make nasty little inside jokes against me because I like to chat a lot. You know, everybody's going to find a reason to nitpick and to poke fun and to just cling on to something they don't like about you and then turn it into an inside joke or turn it into a weapon to try to use against you because you guys had a falling out or whatever, right? We know that. How it affects you, how it affects you, you have some kind of control over, and displaying your control of that above these people that are just trying to make fun of you, make you feel like shit about yourself, is how you win. Right? Fuck those people. Fuck them. Not literally. I mean, but you get what I mean. Just fuck them. They would say things like, there she goes, or here she goes again. It was just nasty. I don't want to think about that anymore. I've been thinking about it too much today. Yeah, I understand, Mary. I mean, if it's always happening all the time too, and if you're like a particularly sensitive person, or if you have a tendency to take things to heart, especially if it's from people that you thought cared about you, have your best of interest, I can understand it hurting. Right? I get it. I do. I'm not going to claim that I fully understand what you went through with all that stuff that, I'm not going to bring up on this channel. Not my place to do. But, But at the same time, you found out the hard way. They're just mean, nasty little shits, right? Mean, nasty little shits that don't deserve you. They don't deserve your time of day. They don't deserve any of that. So don't give it to them. Don't even think about it. Because that's an expression called living in your head rent-free, right? I don't want them to live in your head rent-free. You can live in their head rent-free because they just can't seem to get past it. The other way around, not good. That's the kind of shit that just eats away at you, It's no bueno. No bueno. Let's see. Trying to network a lot with a lot of channels. I just figured out how to network and monetize on the fishing channels today. I see. Well, I mean, keep doing your thing, right? You'll find your way. You'll find your way. You'll get there, right? Pretty much same thing I tell myself too. Mary, can you tell I had an extra pot of coffee today? Nice. Coffee's good, man. Coffee is love. Coffee is life. Plus, some people like the way I say coffee. Because of where I'm from, I'm from Long Island, New York. That's where I'm from. We talk funny. We walk funny. We drink coffee. And that's just how it goes. Yeah, getting low on water. Oh yeah, water. We drink water. We drink water. We sip on coffee. We be talking. We be walking. I'm thinking about making another scenario. I mean, I only made one scenario with this Would You Rather. And, I'm like I mentioned before, I don't really care all that much if the overall live stream isn't focused specifically on one subject. Because again, we're autonomous. We don't operate like algorithms in real life. So why the hell should we act like that on a live stream too? I don't care about, deviation or fluctuation of conversation. No big deal. But I suppose for the sake of the title, we should go over one more scenario. So I will make another scenario, and you guys decide, depending on how many people is in the chat right now. I know Dennis and Mary are here. But you guys decide which one you would rather. So I'm going to think of a scenario right now. Trying to think. I think I have an idea. Let's see. Water, coffee, unsweet iced tea. Yeah, iced tea is good. Ooh, I think I got one. I kind of messed that up a little bit. Okay, let me try that again. Let's see. 2. Yeah, don't answer this just yet. I'm coming up with the different scenario. I think I'll make one more, and then I'll probably wrap up around 9-ish Eastern Standard, give or take. Mary and I are in the same time zone. I'm not sure what time zone you're in, Dennis, but you can let me know in the comment section down below. We're Eastern. So Eastern right now it's almost 8:45 p.m. at night. Two restaurants. Now, I have a feeling somebody might already have an answer, even though I haven't finished these scenarios yet. Wait, let me rephrase that. Two different restaurants. Let's see. It's YouTube. We always have an answer. Yes, that is true. Ooh, wait. 3 out of stock items. All right, there we go. Okay, got it. All right, so this will be the final Would You Rather for tonight. And this Would You Rather scenario is interesting, to say the least. The first one is a DoorDash order. It's paying $9. It's going 4 miles. So that's basically $2.25 a mile. Sounds pretty good, right? But 2 different restaurants, and not only 2 different restaurants, 2 different customers, and one of the customers did not tip. So, oof. Pretty rough, huh? Now, the second scenario of Would You Rather is an Uber Eats order. It's paying $20, but it's going 10 miles. So it's still $2 a mile, but it's going 10 miles, right? It's a shop and deliver for 30 items, but it has 3 out of stock items, but it has a 10% chance of a higher tip. So let me rephrase that again. DoorDash order, $9 for 4 miles, 2 different restaurants, 2 different customers. 1 customer did not tip. The Uber Eats order, $20 for 10 miles. It's got 30 items. 3 items are out of stock, but there's a 10% chance of a higher tip. What would you guys pick? Welcome back, Speedy. You can let us know in the comment section down below which of these scenarios that you would prefer. How much and get a chance, get a customer to tip, even if they don't start off that way. Good question. Good question. Uber, not good example. DoorDash against anything else. Okay, well, we can make this a little more constructive then. So how would you want to modify the DoorDash example? Would you want to modify it to where maybe it's paying like $10 for 4 miles, for example? We can do that. How about that? We do $10 for 4 miles. So now we got a double digit against a double digit. One of them is food deliveries, 2 different customers, 2 different restaurants, only 1 tip. The other one is paying twice, but it's also going much further. It's a bigger order. There's going to be a couple items out of stock, but you might have a chance to get a higher tip. Let me know in the comment section down below. If there's any other modifications to these would you rather scenarios that could perhaps even the playing field, you can also let me know in the comment section down below. Now, I pretty much know what I would pick, but I'm intrigued to hear what you guys would pick first. Oh yeah, while I'm at it, I'll comment in Sunny's live stream. I'm going to send her 69 ears of corn. Oh, wait. There we go. I was sending dinner forks by accident because I commented Walmart spork. It's supposed to be a funny way of saying Walmart spark, but you know, like a spork. It's so funny. Okay. There we go. Sunny Cornsicles has got 69 cornsicles in her stream. All right, Dennis Bigfoot just got back, missed the last 5 minutes. Sorry, smoke break. That's all good. So, Dennis, to catch you up to speed, I came up with another would you rather scenario. And it reads as accordingly. The first scenario of would you rather is a DoorDash order. It's paying $10. It's only going 4 miles, so it's basically $2.50 a mile. But it's 2 different restaurants, 2 different customers, and one of the customers did not tip. Or you can pick the Uber Eats order. It's paying $20 for 10 miles, so you have to go a little over twice as far, but you're also getting double the pay. But it's a 30-item order, so it's a fairly large order. And it's missing a decent amount of items, but there is a 10% chance of a higher tip. Which scenario, Dennis, would you pick between those 2? And if you don't have a concrete answer, or if you have maybe constructive criticism to improve the odds of these orders against each other, you can let us know in the comment section down below. Smart. 69. Whatever made you think of that number? 69. Well, all kinds of reasons. It's a funny number. It's a very memeable number. A lot of memes behind that number. But it also is other things too. We'll just say. It just sort of became like a running gag with me. Plus, it fits right into a lot of my sense of humor. Same thing with 420 and 666. But I think 69 and 420, those are the ones I quote more, the most. Uber is pure evil. Yeah, I don't know, man. They might be even more shady than DoorDash. They might be. They might be. Let's see. Dennis, I personally would take the shorter most of the time because that's you motor. Or, okay, yeah, I think I get what you're saying. So, conserve energy versus payout. Okay, that's a fair answer. Because, the thing too, if you have to go like 10 miles to drop off an order, it might take you out of your zone and it might take you, I don't know, like out in the sticks, or it might take you to like a dead area where you would struggle to get something back. Like, let's say that it takes you to a different city, like the next city north, the next city south, but there's like very few stores, or it's just not a very busy or densely populated place. Maybe it lacks power strips or, something that could bring you back to your area. So that's definitely something to consider as well. I'm sure you have that in the back of your mind too. When it happens to you, you'll find out it happens to everybody. Yeah, that's true. That is certainly true. You have to go 20 miles to get to a dead area. I see. Yeah, there definitely are some dead areas not too far away from Titusville. Like Titusville is an okay market. It is continuing to grow. The problem is that the overall wealth and income hasn't really kept up with the expansion of the city, which means that it is still a lot of, let's say, poor people. Let's just say people that are maybe lower middle to lower class using DoorDash. So in a lot of ways, it does mean there's decent cash flow going around, but at the same time, a lot of the orders lack any like outstanding value. That is a big motivation for me to try out different markets. I do have a way to get to maybe more flourishing areas, like let's say Kissimmee, for example. There's a Greyhound station in Titusville, and the Greyhound station can take me directly to Kissimmee. It's like an hour trip. I think I can carry an e-bike. I think I can. If I were to do that, I think it wouldn't cost that much. It would cost less than a rental car. I would like to try that someday. So we'll see about that for this year. But I got to get past this month because, again, my e-bikes are down, right? I got to wait a couple weeks to get them back on the road. Yes and no. It depends on your area. There's a lot of poor people in Titusville, which also means they lack money to tip with. But at the same time, I've delivered to people that have really nice houses, and the tip is like $1.50, $2. It's like you got like bitch, you got this awesome house, right? Huge 2-story house. It's beautiful. You got like you basically have the pool table lawn, right? The perfectly green grass, and yet you're tipping $2. Like fuck you too, right? But then you tip to someone that has like maybe a less impressive looking property, and then they tip like $30, $40. That's what happened the other day. Remember when I told you, Mary? I think it was yesterday. I had a shipped customer. They tipped me $34.95. Their property wasn't even properly maintained. Like, it didn't even look like they had someone that can like edge their property, like the strands of grass growing on the driveway. And I find out they tip almost $35. It's like, holy shit, that's awesome. But then I tipped, or not I tipped, I took an order for someone that has this really nice house. They bought a decent amount of groceries. They tipped like $2. It's like, what? It's crazy. But I don't know. It's kind of a spectrum with that whole thing, right? It isn't like, you and I know, right? We know that it's not just poor people tipping more than rich people. It's not just rich people always tipping less than poor people. There's a lot of nuance. There's a lot of, people in between. There's a lot of people on opposite ends of the spectrum than what we would come to identify. Like, we have poor people that don't tip because they're poor, right? But then we have rich people that actually are generous. Well, maybe not rich people, but let's just say upper middle class and beyond, that are willing to tip generously. But then there's people that don't or do, vice versa. It's pretty nuanced for sure. But it also depends on your area. Like I said, Titusville, a lot of the time, broke bitches ain't tipping. But at the same time, wealthy motherfuckers ain't tipping either. If you go to Kissimmee, do earn by time because traffic is a nightmare. I got to explore the area first, and then I'll decide on that one. Because I don't know if shopping orders are a big thing there. I don't know if they're worth it. I don't know how well people tip with food deliveries. I'm not sure how many bike lanes there are, because you got to remember too, right? Things are quite a bit different on a bicycle. I can go on sidewalks according to state law. I just have to follow legal obligations in sidewalks. If there's bike lanes, well, fuck traffic. I can just speed past everybody, It's the dynamic with an e-bike versus a car is a little different. Obviously, there's pros and cons, right? You figure a car can generally go faster, further, carry more cargo. You don't have to battle the elements as much. But a bicycle can get around shortcuts more easily. They also tend to be lower maintenance. They tend to cost less to maintain. Sometimes that can also translate to more money back in your pocket, as long as you're able to go far enough and carry enough stuff, which I've been able to prove time and time again, and will continue to do so. Yeah, at the very least, I would like to try out Kissimmee, just because I have a Greyhound station. Greyhound takes me directly there, and it's not that expensive, so I would at least like to try it and see. But I gotta get my bikes back on the road first, right? I'm not going to take a Greyhound to Kissimmee just to use a mountain bike for work. Fuck that. It's not going to be worth it. Let's see. Real rich people tip, fake rich people don't. That one's debatable too, right? Because sometimes the richest people don't make it obvious. And sometimes rich people hoard money. So, again, there's a lot of nuance with that too, but I do get what you're saying. Tip bad. Yeah, exactly, right? They can definitely be greedy. Tourist areas tip. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. If I'm not mistaken, there's another Greyhound station that would take me to a different part of Orlando as well. I think it's over by Sanford or Oviedo. I'd have to think about that one too. But first, I need a little bit of this. And second of all, I need those bikes back on the road. It's going to take a couple weeks, though. So ultimately, that means Mr. Fickle is walking about. I mean, I tend not to spend that much on stuff other than general obligations, but still, I digress. Let's see. DoorDash says Titusville is busy right now. I say skip. Yeah, besides, it's about 9 o'clock. I think I'm going to be wrapping up pretty soon. I'll stop sharing the screen because I think I got the general consensus what you guys would select between these orders. But before I do, what I would pick between these orders, I would pick the Double Dash instead of the Uber Eats for similar reasons, right? It doesn't have to go as far. And it seems pretty likely that at least one of these orders is going to be ready upon pickup, right? And if you have an insulated bag, the other order will stay warm. And plus, just text the customer, be like, "Hey, I'm waiting for your order," or "Hey, I'm on my way with your order." I do that with every customer, by the way. Like, a lot of people might not care about that and be like, "Oh, well, I don't like to talk to customers." It's like, well, I don't either, right? I don't. I'm not going to really say I'm reclusive, but I am a largely introverted person who prefers to, stay to himself, do his own thing. But I am willing to at least text or call a customer if I have to, or if I feel that it increases my chances of building good rapport, potentially a higher tip, potentially a cash tip. I've had that happen before. I've had some people tip me extra because I texted them that I'm on the way. So if it happened once, it could happen again. Right? If it happened once, it could happen again. So that's how I saw that. But I also think it's just good practice, It's just good practice to send an on the way text. Now, I know these apps do notify the customer that your driver is heading to the store, or your driver is heading to your location. But still, right? Even with that, because I know Shipped specifically does that too. Shipped will notify the customer if the Shipped shopper is on the way to the store or on the way to their location. I'll still send the text anyway, because again, it could potentially increase the tip, because it's happened a couple times to me before. I'm not trying to just make that like a confirmation bias thing, because again, I do think it's just, it's good etiquette. I would, like, if I place a DoorDash order, if I place an order with any of these apps, I would prefer that the driver let me know that they're working on their thing, or, if something's out of stock, I would definitely prefer if they let me know about that, instead of just being like, "Oh, well, I guess they're not going to get it." I kind of frown upon that one, but that's just me. See, Sonny's back. Cool. Let's see. Every customer gets a photo of their order in the restaurant, making it obvious it's there, and a note saying, "On my way." Yeah, I know. I get it, Mary. But I'll still send the text anyway, because, like I said, I've had customers that have directly told me that me letting them know, like me reading their instructions, or letting them know I'm on the way, or letting them know their order is here, has given me an extra tip from them. Like, they have texted me at the service and be like, "Hey, like, you actually read the instructions. Thank you. I sent you something extra." And I'd be like, "Awesome. Love it. Appreciate it. See you next time." So it's rapport, right? It's rapport. That's how I see it. And honestly, I think Shipped is the app that I've gotten the most positive customer report with. Hell, I didn't record this, but I did have a delivery with Shipped a little while ago. It was to an elderly woman who she has mobility problems, right? And she can't pick up heavy items. So when she places orders, she prefers that the shopper bags everything light enough so she can actually carry it. And she prefers that it's put on her AC unit right next to her door so she can just so she doesn't have to bend down or bend over and pick it up, right? Especially if it's a big bulky item. She writes that in the instructions, but she's told me a lot of drivers don't read the instructions. They just bag it up however the fuck they feel like because they don't want the inconvenience to have to read or to have to text the customer like, oh, hey, blah, 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 such and such. And it was also surprising to her that she found out based on my username, because with Shipped, you can have a nickname. I nicknamed myself Mike the Bike Dasher. She asked me, you do this stuff on an e-bike? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, are you sure you can do that? And I'm like, yes. And I showed her a picture of my bike setup with the big ass bag that I have on the back. And she's like, be careful. Let me know if you need anything, blah, blah, blah. Just please don't bag anything heavy. And I was like, sure, I got you. You're good. I deliver her order. She tipped me like almost $17, and it was only a 10-item order, right? That could have been like a $2, $3 tip from someone that just gave a bare minimum to a driver who just does bare minimum. She tipped me $17 fucking dollars, man. Because I actually texted her. I actually read her instructions. Like, yeah, she gets notified in the app that I'm on the way to the store or on the way to the location. But the fact I actually read the instructions and shit and actually communicated with her led to a higher tip. And she's not the first. I've had a bunch of other customers with Shipped in particular. Hell, I've had some DoorDash customers where it was raining before. This happened to me. I recorded that in my New Year's Eve vlog. If you guys haven't watched it already, the guy was like, "Oh, I gotta up your tip, man, because it was raining." It's like, well, yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting rain too, but it's all good. And he's like, "No, man, I gotta up your tip." He upped my tip. Plus, I regularly communicate with him. If I just did bare minimum shit, well, instead of seizing the opportunities during these times, would have been less money. So there you go, right? If I was just complacent, stuck in my ways with specifically how I do things, it could have been less money. Not saying it wouldn't work or anything. I would still made some money, but I made more. So if I saw an opportunity to make more money and build good rapport with people, so I have regular clientele that I can count on for decent income and cash flow, why not take it? I know people have their reservations with a platform like Shipped because there's no upfront tipping. So you have no idea. You basically have to take a gamble to see whether or not the customer tips. If your area has a ton of customers and a ton of Shipped orders, or if you have enough wiggle room based on your financial goals and your schedule, try it. Or if not that, if you've seen opportunities where communicating with the customer actually led to a higher tip, or reading the instructions led to a higher tip, try it. Try it, man. Right? Be open to new strategies, especially if there's some kind of payoff to it. That's it. And keep in mind, you guys got to remember, I'm on my bike, right? I have less to work with. So, yeah, I have to be thrifty and willing to take some gambles that have good odds to potentially pay off. You got to do what you got to do, right? It's a dog-eat-dog world, and there are people and cultures that eat dogs. So I digress. Sunny is working. She's been here with you the whole time, Mike, the Bike Dasher. No, I know. I got her on the I've been, I've been playing her stream. I haven't really watched it. Volume's off, but I still play it. So Sunny's getting those watch hours. She's been getting the watch hours ever since I started my stream. 2 hours, 12 minutes, 16 seconds ago. And I'm pretty much out of water. Yeah. So this is usually a sign when I wrap up my stream, when your boy runs out of water. But it's all good. But anyway, yeah. For the would you rather scenario, I would take the DoorDash order, right? On my bike, I have less range than a car, but I can still have decent cash flow. Lots of shortcut potential in my area, so I could probably cut this down from 4 miles. I've done that a lot. You guys have seen it too. I've documented it, where I can take shortcuts that cut down like half a mile, mile and a half. 2 different restaurants, whatever, right? If they're right next to each other, who cares, right? In my area, right, a lot of the time I'll get Panda Express orders that are stacked with Tropical Smoothie Cafe. It's the same plaza. So if I see that, I'm like, you know what? I'll take it. It's literally next door. It's like next to the T-Mobile, next to the pizza parlor, the whatever. I'll just run to one store. If that store's not ready, I'll run to the other store. If that store's not ready, I'll run to the other store and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. And the one customer did not tip. It's like, yeah, I do prefer that a customer tips, but I'm not gung-ho, no tip, no trip, because if I acted like that, there would be less cash flow. If the base pay is high enough to justify it, I'll take it. If the overall pay is high enough, I'll take it. So I digress. So there's that. Cool. I mean, the Uber Eats order, $20, 10 miles is a shopping order. I mean, I can get that done in reasonable time too, but the 10 miles would be a little rough, let's just say. Because again, it could take you out in the middle of nowhere. It can take you out in the sticks. It can take you out to a slower market where you would struggle to get anything in, let alone something to take you back to your market in. It's like, that's pretty much taking 20 for 20, if you look at it that way, right? Right. If you found yourself not being able to get an order on the way back, then yeah, you essentially traveled 20 miles for $20, which is a lot less enticing compared to 4 miles, where you're probably still in your zone, and maybe there's a couple stores nearby that you can pick up from. Like in my area, for example, I'm at like the western part of Titusville. It's a big power strip area, right? You got a decent amount of stores. If I took an order like that DoorDash order, the 10 for 4, 2 customers, let's say that they're going east or northeast. Well, if I go east, there's stores there. I can pick up something from there, possibly. If there's something northeast, well, guess what? There's another power strip area. I can potentially pick up something there. Even if I can't get something from those spots directly, if I head my way back, there's another spot. It's got a 7-Eleven and a China place. Those are pretty popular places. Pick up something from there. So I'm still pretty much within my region, even if it's not in like the hottest part of my zone, if that makes any sense, right? But 10 miles would take me out of my region. 10 miles would take me like closer to Cocoa if I went south, or it would take me over by Christmas, which is like 15 miles from Orlando, which is pretty much in the middle of nowhere. Or if I went north, that would take me to Mims, and Mims has like a McDonald's, a couple Dollar Generals, and basically nothing else. So fuck that. I would definitely take the DoorDash order. But that's just me. But anyway, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up here. So this stream actually went really good. I had a good time. And I don't think the connection went out, right? I didn't see the connection icon that says like, oh, it's unstable signal, and then suggests that I plug in an Ethernet cable or anything like that. Emotionally, I'm also feeling better because a lot of things were happening at the same time. I I just wasn't happy with that. So yeah, it's complicated, but overall feeling pretty good. And I had an enjoyable time. I hope you guys had a good time too. If you did, just give the video a lick. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet already done so. Ring that taco bell, that way you get notified the next time I upload. And, you know, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys thought of today's stream. Let me know what you guys would like to see for this channel moving forward. Excuse me. And of course, if you want to help your boy out, show super support for him, aside from doing those things, you could also visit my link tree. I have a banner for that. The link tree, if you type in @Mike the Corn King, it's one word on Linktree. You'll find my link tree. I've got resources where you can help me out, and I've got resources where I can help you out. Totally optional. You don't have to do that, but that's just if you want to show super support for your boy. But otherwise, a lot of the basic stuff, you know, subscribing, liking videos, ringing the bell, leaving comment, watching my stuff. That's all just really good stuff. Best way that you can help support the channel, because we are on the road to monetization. We're going to get this channel monetized this year. It's going to happen. I have a good feeling about it. I feel more confident about this channel getting monetized than any other point in my life throughout my history with YouTube, because my history goes back pretty far, let me tell you, right? My last channel is not the only time. That's not my first rodeo with YouTube. I've been on this platform since 2008. Well, actually 2007. That's 17 years of history right there. I mean, I was practically a little tot when I got my first YouTube account. I was, what was I, like 12 at the time? Yeah, I was like 12 years old. I uploaded some really dumb videos called Scooter Masters with a buddy of mine, twirling our scooters, trying to do tricks on them and stuff. Just really dumb, archaic videos, but it was a good time. And, you know, a few years later, I uploaded some high school projects, you know, video projects. I uploaded some college projects. I made another channel with a music project I was trying to work on with buddies in college. And then I had another channel that was another music project that I was working on with other buddies of mine. I had yet another channel on top of that about fitness. And then I had the channel, then I had the previous channel that is still, you know, it is still on the platform. I'm just not active on it anymore. And we're here. So in a lot of ways, things have come full circle. But, you know, strategy-wise, mentality-wise, things are a little different. You know, I've gotten a little older, a little wiser, I think. Maybe. But we'll see. Oh, yeah, lots of corn. Good stuff. But, yeah, once the live stream ends, leave a comment in the comment section down below. And check out that link that I had pinned in the comment section. My watch list, playlists. You guys want to watch my stuff? I make some pretty good videos, man. I'm sure you guys would enjoy it. And yeah, I don't know, man. Before I go, I do want to highlight the people that did show up today. We had 10 people come today, which is cool. First and foremost was Mary. Mary was here, and she's been here pretty much the whole time, really. I mean, I know she has some orders to work on, but hey, she's here. And Indie Gig Life was here too. So was Big 3 Dashing, Sunny Cornsicles, Colleen, my buddy Kane, his other account, so I guess 9 people, but still, that's cool. Dennis the Menace, MB, and then last but not least, Speedy. So we had a decent little crowd here. First time YouTube was April 24th. So, like, very first time ever, huh? Interesting. Yeah, I got a long history with this platform, man, but the past, I like to say almost 2 years now is probably the most consistent I've ever been. And I think that consistency has improved with this channel too. I mean, hell, right? I've been uploading videos on this channel every week, and with my 69 Recovery Road series, I was uploading every day. Well, mostly every day, but don't expect the daily uploads like that moving forward unless I really have like a huge creative spark. But I will upload weekly and I will live stream more. So we'll definitely get there. But make fun videos. Well, I appreciate that, Mary. I definitely have let's say an interesting brand, if you will, in this gig community. I love memes. I love jokes. You're always going to see that stuff in my videos. I know that can be polarizing to some people. I saw in Chuck's video, right, when he made that guest feature, there were a couple people saying like, "Oh, well, I didn't like the fact he kept cutting to his, doing the drum with the puns thing or whatever, or the memes." I see that. It's like, okay, well, to each their own. Whatever, that's fine. One person was even saying like, "Oh, I would subscribe if they didn't do that." And it's like, whatever, that's okay. To each their own. Like, you might not subscribe, but 5, 10, 15, 20 other people would. And that's exactly what happened, right? Chuck featured me. I got over 20 subscribers. So if I missed out on one to get 20, I netted pretty good. Plus, you can't please everyone, right? I understand that. Don't think of until May. Yeah, I see. Watched a lot, yeah. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, at the end of the day, you can't please everyone, but there are people that will enjoy what you do. Right. I've definitely learned that the past almost 2 years now of being consistent with making content from my main channel to this one. And then I'm going to be making some more content on my music channel because, yes, I do music. I actually do that. I know I haven't put a lot on that channel yet, but you get what I say. Yeah, exactly. Be consistent, build the channel. But I also feel even more motivated to not feel burned out as much and to actually stay consistent because this channel has a dedicated purpose, a dedicated reason, a dedicated niche. And this is the channel to go to for that dedicated purpose and niche. Right? Mike the Bike Dasher. All things Mike the Bike Dasher. This is the home to it. So, anyway, guys, I'm in a bath mood. Yeah, I'm gonna take a bath. I'm gonna take a nice, hot, steaming bath, and I'm gonna take a couple puffs of some CBD. Good stuff. First one. Good stuff. It's got some indica. Feels good. Helps me relax, be sleepy. I don't take it all the time, but sometimes. I actually went most of December without it, but I was kind of in the mood when I got the injury, and then whatever. It's okay. To each their own. Good stuff. So I'm gonna take a couple puffs, take a nice hot bath, go to sleep. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream tonight. Doing great. Appreciate it, Mary. I definitely see a lot of good potential with this channel and, good people to help back me. Like Chuck, like you. So definitely feeling hopeful for the future. So anyway, guys, I'm out. I love all yous. Appreciate your continued support of my channel. And
hasta la vista, baby.
Catch you guys next time. Take care.